finally, I got a breakthrough, and God finally showed me some stuff that I've been wanting to see, wanting to know. I was making time for God, but I was doing it on my schedule and on my terms and not on His. And if you want true breakthrough in your life, you have to be willing to sacrifice and to do things that are not comfortable for you. Now, normally I sleep through the night, okay? I sleep like a baby. I could sleep for 10 hours straight. And all last week, I kept waking up like every 1 to 2 hours. 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I kept waking up randomly throughout the night. And I was like, what's happening? And a part of me was like, is God trying to wake me up to like, does He want me to spend time with Him? Because I know a lot of people wake up super early in the morning, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and they read their Bible, they pray, they spend time with God. And I was like, but God, you know I love to sleep, and I'm not waking up that early in the morning because I will be a zombie. I will be exhausted. I've never been a morning person my whole life. I've been a night person. I could stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning, but waking up super early is just like not possible for me. So He kept waking me up all week. I just refused to get up. I would just go back to sleep. And finally last night, I was like, you know what? I really think God wants me to wake up early, because I remembered this one time a year ago when I was very, very sick. It was my allergies, but I didn't know it was allergies. I was really, really sick. I was inflamed everywhere, and I actually thought I was dying. I woke up early in the morning, and like 7. That's early for me. I woke up at 7 in the morning, and I went and I sat in prayer. I remember praying to God, but I remember praising Him and crying and just really feeling grateful and just wanting answers. But it was a very like emotional prayer. But in that prayer, He gave me a very visual word and a visual image in that prayer. It was the first time something that clear came to me. And the word sinus infection came to me. And then I saw an image of a nasal spray. I've never used a nasal spray before that. And I've never been diagnosed with a sinus infection ever. So that's something I would have never even come up with on my own, even though I used to do, and I still do, I do a lot of health research, but that was never in my mind. Allergies was not in my mind. I even went to an urgent care, and then I followed up with my primary, and they both said I had allergies, and I did not believe them. I just didn't. I thought they're misdiagnosed, mainly because they gave me no answers. They were like, oh, you have allergies, here, take these pills, bye. I was like, what do you mean I have allergies? Like, out of nowhere, I have allergies? Who develops allergies like decades into their life? It just didn't really make sense, and it felt like I was infected everywhere. I thought I needed like antibiotics, which I took and nothing happened. So that's when I was like, maybe it is allergies. But anyway, during that vision, it was just so clear. Sinus infection, nasal spray. I immediately went online. I searched for nasal sprays, and I found X-Clear, which was a natural sinus infection. It was mostly saline and something else. And I started using the nasal spray, and I had immediate relief. And that's when I realized the sinus infection was the cause of my migraines. I was getting really bad migraines, and that's because of the swelling and the buildup of the sinus infection. So the nasal spray gave me immediate relief, and I no longer had migraines after that. Why am I telling this story? Because that came to me through early morning prayer. And I never did that again. I never woke up that early again for the sole purpose of talking to God or praying to God or asking for answers. Now, I mentioned in the last video that I did where I felt like I stopped hearing from God. And last night, I just remember feeling this like, remember when you woke up early and God gave you this very clear answer? I think God wants you to do that again. And so I was like, man, I really don't want to wake up super early, but I'll do that. I said, I'm going to do that. And I set my alarm for 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, the cool thing about God, at least for me, every time I've ever asked God to wake me up at a specific time, He's always done that. I can wake up without an alarm if I ask God to wake me up. And sure enough, I woke up at like 5:30 in the morning, but I was like, God, you're pushing it. I said I'll wake up at 7. compared to like 10:30 that I've been waking up lately. I'm just really tired. But I was like, I'm not getting up at 5:30. Sorry. I was like, come back in an hour and a half. 7 o'clock alarm goes off. I jumped out. I was so tired. And I immediately just got on my knees in the corner of my bed. I went into prayer position and I was like, okay, I'm awake. I'm barely awake. Like, talk to me. I had some really cool stuff that came through within the first 30 minutes. And I sat there for 2 hours. But most of it came through in the first 30 minutes. And I just kept sitting there and waiting on more and taking a lot of notes and stuff like that. And the whole point of this video was that, and I even recorded a video last night, which I will input right here. I'm getting ready to go to sleep on Saturday night. I'm going to try to wake up early to pray. And this is a testimony because I have a weird feeling that I will have a breakthrough in the morning if I actually obey and wake up early solely to spend time with God, which is the one thing that I have been refusing to do. So we'll see. This was proof. God showed me that I was willing to sacrifice almost everything for him except my sleep. I would do 3-day fasts. I would go 24 hours without social media. But sleeping is not one of the things that I was ever willing to sacrifice. I read the Bible before bed because I wake up so late that I just jump to work straight. He was not happy about that. He was like, you're willing to sacrifice everything but your sleep. So in essence, I was putting sleep before God. I was making time for God, but I was doing it on my schedule and on my terms and not on his. And if you want true breakthrough in your life, you have to be willing to sacrifice and to do things that are not comfortable for you. Because God is not going to be like, okay, sure, I guess I'll wait when you have the time. Like, he's like, no, you're going to make the time. If you want what I have for you, you're going to make time. And what is the one thing that I've been wanting more than anything? It's to hear God's voice, for him to talk to me. And I had to really ask myself, is it worth waking up early for that? And the answer was obviously yes. And the video I made last night was proof saying, this is what I feel God's telling me. Wake up early and I will talk to you. And he did. That was like my little mini testimony that when you do things his way and on his timing and on his terms, not on yours, he will talk to you. And so for me, that was sleep, but it could be different things for other people. It could be food for other people. It could be social media for other people. It could be anything. Sometimes it's not about giving up food or waking up early or giving up social media. Sometimes it's him saying, you don't spend enough time with me. So maybe some people are like, I wake up at 5 a.m, I read my daily devotional and I'm good to go. Sometimes it's him saying, no, like, I need you to sit down and just listen. That's it. Sit and listen, or sit and praise me. It could be some people are just not giving enough time. They think they're doing it, but they're just not. For me with sleep, I never knew that I love sleep more than I love food. I can go 3 days without food, but don't ask me to wake up before 9 o'clock in the morning. Quick note is that I do not believe I'm lazy. I can work 7 days straight and I can work 12-hour shifts, and I've done that for many years. I work multiple jobs on top of jobs. My issue was waking up early. It wasn't like laziness per se. It was just me refusing to give up sleep for God. And I turned down a lot of events where I'm required to wake up early. I just will not do it. There's very few times I've woken up early for an event. I've gone bike riding where I had to wake up at like 7. And that was very difficult. And that's probably like a slap in God's face too. He's like, you wake up at 7 to go bike riding, but you won't wake up at 7 to just sit and talk to me. The thing was, though, I didn't know this whole time how important it was for God for me to wake up early. It just kind of hit me the other day, and that's why I decided to do it. So I had no idea. Had I known earlier, I probably would have done it earlier. And believe it or not, like, if you're one of those people that hates mornings or has a hard time waking up in the morning, I sat there with my eyes closed. So it really was no different from laying down in bed to just sitting on the floor in a comfy little position with my eyes closed. I still, after all that time, I did feel more and more awake because it was like I was still sleeping, but I was awake. I don't know how to explain. My eyes were still resting. So I'm going to do a part 2 video because I want to tell you what God showed me. And it had to do with something that different things were showing up in my life through nature, and I couldn't decipher them. And I really felt like God was showing me something through these things, but I just couldn't decipher them. And he showed me during that prayer. So I'm going to show you in the next video what the other message was. And I don't know if it was just for me or for other people, but I'm just going to share it with everyone anyway, just in case you can relate to it. And also how cool it is that God's now talking to me through nature. I call them nature parables in a way, because in the Bible, Jesus talked through parables, and I love his parables. But he would talk to you about, vines and fig trees and coins and all these different things that regular people overlook. So you really had to have the ears to hear and the eyes to see. The missing piece, I guess, for me was I was seeing the parables, right? I was hearing them, I was hearing the things, I was seeing the things, but I didn't have the understanding. And that only comes from God. And that came through my sacrifice of waking up early and literally saying, okay, I'm here. I did it your way. I'm here. Talk to me. And he revealed to me what those things that I was noticing around me, he revealed to me what they mean. And so I hope this helps someone out there who maybe is struggling hearing from God, but maybe you're not realizing that you're actually in some weird way, you're not willing to do it on his terms, whether that's waking up early or turning off your phone or whatever it is for you. You have to do it on his terms. So I guess ask yourself, and I think on the subconscious level, we all know what it is. For me, I always knew because I kept hearing about people waking up super early in the morning. And I always was like, I'll never do that. I'm never going to do that. I wanted to do it. I was like, I would love to wake up fully refreshed at 3 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning and then go and sit and read the Bible or pray. But that would never happen. When I wake up at 5 in the morning, I'm exhausted and I want to go back to sleep. I actually prayed about God changing my schedule, but for whatever reason, I'm still like a night person. But it's something that I wish I could become a morning person, and maybe God will help me with that one day. But it's just hard. Even when I wake up at 7 in the morning, I'll still stay up so late to where I'm so tired that I wake up late again in the morning. So I've tried switching my time schedule before by waking up really early, thinking I'm going to get tired earlier and go to sleep earlier, but it just doesn't work like that. I'm wide awake late at night. I have so much going on in my brain. I'm just not tired. But anyway, that's like a little side rant right there. So wait for part 2. I got to edit my videos. They take a little bit of time, but I'm excited to share with you the other thing. And I'm definitely going to start trying to wake up early, just to obey God on his terms and hear him. It's totally worth it to me to wake up early to hear his voice, or to at least see. It's not a voice, it's like an understanding that he gives me. And it's really cool. Anyways, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. And see you next time.